that he wasn't getting the response that he needed. So.
Okay. Do you find that your autistic students have troubles being imaginative or creative, and are they fond of fiction?
Most of the students do have trouble using their imagination. They're very, very literal, and they play with toys in a very stereotyped way. They do the same thing over and over again. I have one guy that makes a big tower out of Lego, but it's like a red block, a yellow block, a green block, a red block. He does the pattern. He won't change that. He does the same thing all the time. So they're very stereotyped and repetitive in their actions when they do play with something, and that's something else that we teach, is just how to play a game, how to play with cars properly, that sort of thing. It's a skill, whereas most kids just pick it up as they go. We have to teach that skill. And they do really enjoy stories. Most of the kids in my class are most of them don't read. I have a few that do, but they're not functioning at, I have a range of grade 1 to 6. Most of them are functioning at a low preschool level. So they like stories that are geared to that low preschool level, even though they might be 10, 12 years old physically. They're cognitively, they're on a lower level, so they do enjoy stories, cartoon characters, that sort of thing. We do a lot of stuff on the smart board because if Mickey Mouse asks them to count to 10, they can count to 10. If I ask them to count to 10, they're not so much interested. So there's that connection with technology as well. We have kids that use iPods. They have the smart board that they love computers, but that imaginative and creative part is very structured and very. It's difficult for them to just come up with an idea on their own and follow it through.
Okay.
And that's your question.
How do your students interact socially with each other?
Most of my students have very low social skills and really don't interact with each other very much at all. We have to encourage that interaction. They will interact with the staff more, but it's also sort of a rote. When they come in the morning, I ask them to say hello. They say, hello, Jennifer. I say, how are you? We have to prompt them to say, I'm fine, how are you? And that's another skill that we build, that sort of conversation. Some students are more interested in others and what other people are doing. We also have a buddies club where the students in the TLC program come in, and we do playing games and reading stories and that sort of thing, just to encourage more social interaction, because again, that's a skill that they need to learn, and they would much more prefer to play by themselves alone or with just a particular object than have to share that object or interact or make eye contact. That's another deficit that a lot of the kids have, is just being able to make and maintain eye contact is something that's difficult for them.
Okay. Do your students enjoy meeting new people?
Some do and some don't, and again, that's another social skill that they often have difficulty with, and it depends on the situation, depends on the student, sometimes it depends on the day. Oftentimes, because it's change, they can find it really overwhelming if someone new, even a substitute teacher comes in or a substitute ed assistant, they'll react differently to that person. After they've met them a few times, they're much more open and willing to interact with them. But it's sort of can be an overwhelming experience, and then it depends on the situation. We just went to a sledge hockey game at COP yesterday, and there was a mascot, and our kids loved it. So it's sometimes I often say that they're predictably unpredictable. We think, we are all kind of anxious about the mascot, thinking it's going to intimidate someone or scare someone, and they all thought it was great. So it's always an interesting experience when new people do come around.
Okay. Do your students like to have a set routine?
Very much so, and that's an important part of our program, actually, is that we do have a set routine. We try to do the same things at the same time, and if there is a change, we give them lots of advance notice to prepare for it. We use pictures as visuals, and we have a daily picture schedule that we refer to often. Some of the students have their own individual ones, and that picture symbol is just sort of reinforcing, because a lot of students have difficulty understanding the verbal, but when they can see the picture and when they know what's coming next, there's less anxiety and apprehension. When I know that I have to do my jobs, and then I get to go outside and play, and then I get lunch. Whereas if we don't have the picture schedule and they're just doing jobs, they may not be as focused, and they're anxious because they don't know what's coming next. And if we do have a change to the schedule, say a fire alarm, we're often given advance notice of that so that we can prepare the students, so that that big change and that having to do something completely different isn't an overwhelming experience for them. A lot of the students have difficulty with just even transitions from room to room, from our classroom to another classroom, or as I said, the change, having a substitute teacher come in, that sort of thing can really just throw them off and make a good day turn into a bad day.
Okay.